Hey guys. So this is a topic that I was kind of avoiding for the last couple days just because I knew there was already going to be a lot of like talking about it. Let me just put the mic in a frame here. Um Unfortunately, the Pokemon Company has decided to get rid of Pokemon Bank. And you know, this has never been a channel that's just been just about like only the show, obviously. It kind of sucks. It's really somber to have to talk about it, no homewrecker. But the biggest thing that I do just kind of want to point out is that this is very impactful for the community for a lot of reasons. I think back to when I go back and play every single game that's available on the virtual console or available on the 3DS in general, and just being able to bring those guys over is such a huge pleasure of mine. It's like one of the main reasons I play these games is so I can bring them back from their original game as the original trainer and whatever shiny hunting I've been doing and whatever. Personally, that's kind of more so where I see the issues here for a lot of people. The nostalgia, the memories, everything else. And now your teams are no longer transferable, which, for most people might not be the worst thing in the world. But I think for people who like to go back and play the game on native hardware, it's something that we like to do. As great as it is to be able to potentially play these games on Switch, which I'll talk about more of that in a sec. Um, it sucks because um, yeah, it just sucks. Before we continue, if you're new here, hi, my name is Harrison. I've been doing, or at least uploading to YouTube for quite a while, since I was a youngin'. And Pokemon and MLB The Show are kind of the main focus of the channel. I play other games too, but if you're new here, like, subscribe, have a good time. We're going to talk more about why this is not such a good thing. Um, Aside from, nostalgia, because logistically speaking, this is going to piss off a lot of people. But I hate to say it, it's not going to change anything. It's not going to make it seem like, the Pokemon Company is at risk of anything. The big thing that we do see coming, the big ramifications that I will say that I'm predicting is on Bet365, right? Gamble responsibly, not a sponsor. Um the big thing I will say is that this is definitely heading in a direction to where they are going to be moving some version of those games onto the current console or both Switches, really, because they still haven't let go of the old Switch. And just to kind of put this into perspective, generations 2, 3, 5, and 7, after February 7th, I believe, are no longer going to be accessible, essentially. Now, with that being said, there are rumors that Ruby Sapphire Emerald are coming to the eShop at some point this year, which would be great. No one's going to complain about that, I'm sure. But Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire will no longer be accessible. And there are some new features in those games, like Mega Evolutions, that are going to be really important to the foundation of staying current, especially when it comes to competitively viable Pokemon and Pokemon Champions, which can all Mega Evolve right now. But that's kind of it. That's all we have to look forward to for the rest of the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. Now, if you're just a general Nintendo fan, you got 40th anniversary of Zelda. We got Ocarina of Time coming up, so that's going to be huge. But for the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, it's been mostly merch. And the merch is cool, I guess. I wouldn't personally buy any of it. Haven't really had a need to get like a new keyboard with Gengar or Umbreon and Espeon on it, but it is cool to see those collaborations happen, even if they're mostly sold out, especially with the clothes and everything. But to kind of continue this rant, it's just a whole thing that's kind of really disappointing because it really does point in one direction where they're heading. Now, I'll explain a couple of theories that I think are going to be likely options for what's going to happen with these games. Option number one, subscription, some kind of Nintendo Switch Online virtual console thing. This has been talked about many, many times because it's the 30th anniversary and everybody is kind of suspecting that that's going to happen anyway. But yeah, so that's option one, I guess. Option two, and basically option one would just be all the games that were on the 3DS available now on the Switch. Option two is your 3DS somehow connecting to your Switch at some point, being able to do so. The 3DS, excuse me, was able to connect to the Wii U and Smash Bros, if you remember that, to be a controller, which was super cool, but also just kind of like whatever, and option three, which I think is most likely just based on what we're seeing already, they're going to drop the games on the eShop and just have you purchase each individual copy, which I think is the worst option. Just from a financial standpoint for us as the consumer. But I think that it's the most likely because that's already what they're doing with Fire Red and Leaf Green. Fire Red and Leaf Green sold 1 million units, I think, in like pre-orders or whatever. And it those games sell, man. Nostalgia sells. As sad as it seems. But that's where we're looking at, probably. Could you imagine paying $30 for like Pokemon Black and White again? Like, are you serious? They probably won't be that expensive. They probably will still stick around the $20 mark, which is what I think the Fire Red Leaf Green ones cost, I believe. Let me double check. Well, Fire Red eShop. Okay. All right. This was supposed to be a one shot, but we'll see. Pokemon Fire Red, no, the $20. Okay. So $20 a piece. Now, that sucks. But clearly, us as fans, we have proven that it doesn't matter to us, like, at all. The biggest thing that's really disappointing is just that they're putting so much. There's just not a lot to look forward to in this 30th anniversary. We had one trailer for Generation 10, which looks good, by the way. Winds and Waves is a great looking game. So far, we'll see what happens in next year when it comes out, or at least throughout the year, because I doubt it's going to come out early 2027. But it's one of those things where it's just like, damn, I really wish that it really wish it wasn't like that. And they're gonna sell a lot of units that way. Like, they're gonna sell the game. They're gonna sell a crazy amount of games with this. With this, it's just as unfortunate as it is. Fire Red and Leaf Green are just the start. And as much as I think we would love to see a Switch Online expansion pass for this, it's not going to happen. I don't think that's what's happening here. And keep in mind, I already paid for the expansion pass, so maybe they'll just include it in the expansion pass and just make them home compatible. But I don't think that's what's happening here, unfortunately. Keep this in mind. They're doing this very strategically because very soon, 4 of the most beloved generations of Pokemon, 3 and 5 probably being at the top of that. Well, Generation 2's up there too. So yeah, okay. So they're all pretty up there. Generation 7 is really good because it improved on a lot of stuff. and it was the first time that 3D Pokemon was actually like really, really good. Shout out X and Y for being the start for that. But nobody's going back to the 3DS to play X and Y anymore now that ZA is on, you know, now that ZA is on the Switch. Nobody's going back to the DS to play more than likely Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Or Brilliant Diamond, just Diamond and Pearl. And if you are, like, good for you. That's amazing. Keep doing that. But I still got a Pokemon White playthrough, I think. And, you know, Pokemon White or Black, one of the two. I still have a Pokemon Black playthrough that I'm going through. Because I thought that we were going to get, you know, like, what were we supposed to get? We were supposed to get a remake pretty soon. And then they gave us the DLC in Scarlet and Violet, which I don't think that's it. I don't think that's all we're getting for the Unova remakes. I do think we'll probably get them after Generation 10. So that way they can kind of like, you know, Generation 11, you get Generation 6 again. Or no, they wouldn't need Generation 6. Well, the next Legends game might be Unova. They might be doing away with remakes, except for like maybe Let's Go stuff. But Let's Go Johto was rumored like years ago. So we'll see what happens then. You know, Let's Go Johto is probably the only one that really makes sense to be coming after Gen 10. Like a Let's Go Johto and then a Legends Unova, because the original Dragon is such a good piece of lore that they still haven't expanded upon. And they gave us kind of like a Legends Z, well, you know, with Legends ZA being a current like history making game as opposed to history exploring. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But this is the problem, is like they gave us a little taste with like the Blueberry Academy and stuff, with all the music and all the nostalgic feels and everything, and then they were just like, "Nah, I'm good. That's all you get for now, guys. Prepare for more? Nah. No more from us." And that's the thing that pisses me off the most. We have all these they're kind of just letting our imagination run wild without knowing what exactly we are looking forward to when it comes to what's after that. Like, smart people can figure out that, like, okay, they're probably going to drop the games again at some point, right? As a big thing. And don't expect Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, don't expect Gen 6 to be out of that roster. Just because people still want to go back and play those games specifically. Myself, you know? But as far as like when that's happening, we don't know. Maybe that's something they announce on Pokemon Day. That'd be sick. That'd be amazing. Especially since they just took away our only means to transfer those Pokemon over to the Switch. We just can't do it anymore. I will say a good majority of these Pokemon are available on the Switch in some capacity. But if we look, you know, list of Pokemon available on Switch. Not every Pokemon game. List of Pokemon availability. Okay, cool. Thanks, Bulbapedia. Shout out them. They're not sponsored, obviously, but or I'm not sponsored. Let me see. Conditionally obtainable, you know. So if they're green, they're good. What's EV? Only event distribution ticket. Okay. So if we go to, I wish there was a checklist of some sort. That would have been nice. God, there's 1,000 Pokemon here. Imagine that. But point is, most Pokemon are fairly available on the Switch versions of everything, which is great. It's amazing. But none of those games. Yes, Pucciana and Mariana, they are available. I'm not sure what's going on there. This list must not be updated. But But yeah, I mean, my biggest thing is just like the lack of availability. It took us like 10 years to be able to get Furfru on the Switch, it felt like, and that was one thing that people were exploiting in the GTS, and now Spinda, I think, is like not available at the moment. Sorry, the timer was running out. I'm going too long. Um, but Spinda's not available for whatever reason, and that's the thing where it's like, it's not available because it's glitched. It's not available because it's like a cheated Pokemon essentially. But the one thing I will say is just I'm very, I don't even want to say disappointed. I'm just very surprised by the lack of availability or the lack of like content they had prepared for this year. Like maybe we'll find something out in September when the next direct comes out in a month, probably around there. But this news that Pokemon Bank is shutting down is really, it really sucks. Um, yeah, yeah, and then like Black and White, like when are those coming back? Those are ones that like the whole universe was excited for, and it just like all of a sudden nothing's happening. Like the dropping off the face of the earth type of deal, Like let me adjust some stuff here. I'm gonna delete that. Yeah, delete that. We go ahead and we'll just do display capture. Display that one. Yeah. Okay. See, look, like the fact that I have to look it up is pretty sad. But there's probably a way on Pokemon Home that I can go look at it and see what's going on. But Black and White remakes apparently being discussed internally, not officially announced, and not yeah. Let me see right here. Reported 2023 roadmap, which would be huge. Yeah, man. I don't know. I just know that everybody was freaking out when we thought Pokemon Black and White. The world was a better place when we thought Pokemon Black and White were getting remade. So this one here. This is 3 years ago. That's how long ago this was, by the way. The hype was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, which is insane. The last time we see, there we go. And that's the thing. Like Pokemon just straight up didn't have anything planned for us this year on their 30th anniversary outside of merch and Fire Red Leaf Green and potentially another Gen 3 release. And that's the part that kind of confuses me is like, this was your 30th anniversary and you guys hyped it up. Oh, we're going to be celebrating Pokemon all year. Bro, half your merch in Target is out of stock. I know, I go there too much. But I don't know. This is just a general disappointment rant about like what we should have been expecting this year because we should have gotten Gen 10 this year, right? That's what the leaks were suggesting, according to Mr. Riddler. But I think after the Terra leak and everything, which I will not be covering, so don't ask. But after the leaks and everything, that was something that was just like, damn, they really had like their whole roadmap planned, and now they pushed it back because of this leak. And I really wanted this year to be good for Pokemon, but it feels so lackluster because Legends ZA released earlier. Was it this year or last year? I want to apologize to my Pocopia stands out there because I forgot that game came out, which is even funnier when you realize that I have that game. My bad. Hold on. This game's been out for a year already. Legends, ZA release date. Dog, this game's been out for almost a year. I can't zoom in. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. This game specifically, Legends ZA, the most recent Pokemon game, has been out for almost a year. And they had nothing. They had nothing this year. Outside of Winds and Waves. And even so, let me see. $2027. We're not getting this game till 2027. On the bright side, and I'm a little late in saying this, obviously, because it's already been covered. But on the bright side, it is releasing on Switch 2. Switch 2 exclusively. Which means we probably won't have another mess like Scarlet and Violet. Hopefully. That's the dream anyway. Yeah, this is just, I'm sad about it. It sucks. And this is a 20-minute video about me ranting about this stuff. But yeah, subscribe, like. Sorry for the double upload today, but I need to get this off my chest because this is just like, we don't know where Pokemon's going. We can kind of see it, but we don't know for sure, and that's the part that I think pisses us off the most, is because most of this feels like it's being driven by money, which is, at the end of the day, they're a business, and yeah, that's really it. All right, I will catch you guys on the next one. Like, subscribe, have all that fun. Peace. Like, even just a 2.5D, 2D HD remake of Black and White will suffice and cure the masses. Like, come on, guys, it's not that hard. Octopath, like, come on.